Hey guys, happy Sunday! Yay! Welcome to our weekly collective tarot reading. I am Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. And if you want to learn a little bit more about me, you can check out my website down below, kittensweightsandtarot.com, as well as all my other offerings and goodies and Desert Cauldron, Leon Mystery School. And hey, by the way, since we are coming towards up to the end of the month and Samhain coming up pretty soon, so like and Dia de los Muertos and Dia de los Niños all coming up soon. The newsletter comes out the 1st of November, and I only put out just one newsletter on the 1st of every month. I don't play the spam game, so that's the only email that you receive from me, but it's full of all kinds of witchy goodness and stuff like that. So there are a lot of people signed up for the newsletter now, and if you are interested, the link for that is down below. All right, so I am excited about this. Feels like forever since I seen you guys, but this is just it's going to be a thing for a while where sometimes I'll be able to do like a Sunday live chat, and then the next week maybe not, and then the following week I can do a Sunday live chat, and that's just because we're moving back and forth to our property, finally moving our stuff in and working on stuff there. We were installing the septic, connecting the septic to the RV. It's mostly done. We got to tweak a few things so it doesn't leak. So, we're doing a lot of stuff up there, and the next venture will be to do solar, and then we'll be ready. But we're doing a lot of work up there, and I will tell you that my body was very sore, and I'm so glad that I got to see Annette yesterday for yoga. She helped to kind of put me back together because my knees, my lower back, my hands hurt, and I don't know if you guys can see, but I have like cuts and little scrapes all over my dainty little hands. Doing some work out there. So we're doing that. We're spending a week here and then a week there, a week here, a week there, because here is where we have the internet, and so we could do our business stuff. So it's taking a little longer for like readings and shipping off things. Not too much longer, just like an extra day or two. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. So I'm not voiding you guys or anything. It's just a little busy, but once that's all done, we'll be back. We'll be back. But for the November reading, the monthly reading that I normally do, where it's a live chat for the fire signs, earth signs, air signs, water signs, I've pre-recorded them on my property already, but I'm going to put them on different days, just like as if it were a live chat. So you'll still get your videos. I'm still putting that out there, still interacting with my patrons and my YouTube members. It's just we're a little busy right now, and I'm really excited about this adventure. All right, so we got some folks in here. Let's see. Lisa, hey, how are you? Let me go all the way back. Susie was saying hello to everybody. Lisa said, hi Tara, hi Susie, babes. It's dramatic here, all thunder and lightning. Ooh, that sounds awesome. Susie said we finally got some rain 2 days ago. I feel crisper fall air finally, and that she lives in the ugliest part of California. Well, you know what? Sometimes rain and lightning just makes it all better. Oh, Susie, thank you. Here I don't like. I have like 5 pairs of clothes now because all my clothes are up there. So I'm just gonna be re-wearing kind of the same stuff for right now. Thank you. Yeah, probably the tan from like being out there doing some labor on the property, but all good stuff. And Susie's wondering how the Skylink is going, or Starlink. I keep calling it Skynet. It probably is going to be Skynet. Who knows? But so we're trying to see if there's a cheaper option. James's dad seems to think that maybe we can get a booster, like a cell phone booster, and maybe boost the signal. But if I'm going to be doing streaming like this on the property, we're probably going to have a good internet. So we may have to actually get Skynet. And it's like, I think it's a $600 initial fee, and then we would have to get the RV version, which is like, it's like $150 or $160 a month for the RV version, because it's portable. I know it's super expensive because we can't get the home version of Skynet,
We're not
Starlink.
getting Skynet. The machines are going to take over.
Yeah, they will take over anyway. But so anyway, so, the home version we can't get yet because Starlink doesn't service our area. They don't have enough satellites floating around above our heads yet over there in the mountains. But they're supposed to shoot up a bunch more satellites sometime early 2023, so next year. And then that way we can get the home version. We could just trade in the RV version and then get the home version. The home version is actually cheaper per month than the RV because the RV has portability to it, so you have to pay for the portability even though we're not going anywhere with it. We just need it for internet. So at least it would be a little bit cheaper. It's marginally cheaper, not too much. So yeah, that stuff is expensive. So definitely people who are rural, yeah, they prey on that. They know where to make a buck, let me tell you. Okay, let's see. Let's go back here. Susie's cracking up over there. Yeah, Susie agrees. Okay, so we have our reading cooked up. I do want to mention that my YouTube members, actually, I just got another YouTube member, and it's depending on the number of members I have, I get to create more emojis for you guys to use. Hey, Butterfly, how are you? So I got to create 2 more emojis for my YouTube members. They could probably show you guys what they are because obviously I have some members in here. So there's 2 new ones for you guys to take a look at. And then also there was, if people have been on as a YouTube member for, a certain amount of time, the little cat symbol next to their face changes colors. So I got to add 2 more colors depending on like if people were with me for like 36 months or 48 months, something like that. So, all right, Susie's throwing up all the emojis for you guys. So yes, actually those are all the emojis you get to use if you are one of my YouTube members. Thank you. And you know what I want to do today? I am going to do our reading, but I want to do a little something special for my patrons who are in here. I know Butterfly Love Child is one of my patrons, and then also my YouTube members. So Liesl is in here, and Susie's in here, and then any of our other friends that pop up. I want to do a little something special for you guys at the end. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, all right. I have my tea here. Yay! Pretty soon we're gonna have to start taking the kitchen stuff up there, so maybe I'll leave like 1 mug here. Okay, so I would like to cast an elemental circle just to kind of clear the space, clear it all up, make it nice and high vibe so we can get some great messages in here for our best and highest good, and so we can see what's cooked up for us this week. And by the way, you guys, on a Saturday of this upcoming week is James's birthday. So his folks are going to be coming up to visit him for his birthday, and they'll be able to see all the progress that we've made on the property. So that should be a lot of fun. And I'm so glad that I'll be able to spend Samhain up there on the property. That's like in the vision that I was having of the property, I specifically saw myself up there for Samhain. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And also doing, Dia de los Muertos up there as well. And then I think we'll be back that after that, so to get more stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and cast that elemental circle and utilizing the elements. And Susie said, sounds good. Susie's wishing you a happy early birthday.
Oh, thank you.
He says thank you. All right, so I have my little blue candle here. I only have a few candles left here, which is fine, because then I can start doing my witchy goodness up there at the property, which is what I really want to do. All right, so let's get this baby to burn, utilizing that fire element to just burn away what no longer serves us, what need not be here, just to help clear up this space. And I'm going to use a little bit of my sweet grass here, and we're going to use that as the air element. Again, just to purify and clear the area. Kind of wondering at what point do I move the altar up there, like maybe last, or I don't know, we'll see. All right, there we go. It's getting nice and smoky now. Yeah. Clear that up, baby. Nice and clear. Oh, sweet grass smells so good. Okay, so I'm gonna put that down there. Okay, and then I'm gonna utilize the water element to just wash away what no longer serves. I have a little bit of storm water in here, and you guys, some of you guys are having some rainstorms and lightning storms right now. We had some high winds yesterday, and I guess up at the property there was a lot of high winds as well. And then today, well, I don't know if today it's going to rain, but it definitely was raining last night. I think up at the property it's supposed to be raining a lot, and then they're gonna start getting it's getting a little bit colder up there. I have a little bit of my chinchweed water that I made. I'm gonna use that for some just extra cleansing. Oh, dude, you guys, the smell of chinchweed, it's like that earthy lemony scent. I just love it. Okay, and then for the earth scent, I have actually, this is a horse bone. We do not sell horse bone in our shop, but we do have a lot of wild horses here in Arizona, and even up at the property, not on the property, but just below, we have a few wild horses kind of running around. And so every once in a while you'll come across some bones of those wild horses. And so this is one of them, and I'm going to use that kind of like a wand to call in the elementals and really ground us with that horse energy. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to start over here to call in the elementals in the north to help us to cast our circle today. I'm calling in the elementals of the east to help us to cast our circle today. Calling in the elementals of the south to help us to cast our circle today. Calling in the elementals of the west to help us to cast our circle today. Our circle is cast, let our work begin, and so it is. All right, you guys, dude, this horse energy is so grounding. Like, it is so grounding. I love it. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead, and I want to use a little bit of sound energy just to, again, clear up the space just a little bit. So I have my Tibetan singing bowl, and this one is attuned to the heart chakra. So if you guys want to open up your little heart space, let's go ahead and let those good vibrations in. All right. Woo! Feels good. Okay. So I have some decks here. If you guys would like to pull some cards along with us, I would absolutely love that. So if you're going to be pulling cards, let us know what decks you're working with, or if you're just going to channel some guidance and some messages, let us know. That would be awesome as well. And speaking of channeled guidance, I do have some videos already scheduled for you guys, and one of them is for tomorrow, and that is, I won't give too much away, but we got to channel a spirit, one of the many spirits that are on our property. So if you're interested in that, definitely go check it out. We were trying to find maybe some things to channel that would help kind of lead up to the very spirited season of Samhain and Dia de los Muertos. And we also have one video coming out on Halloween as well, and that's kind of centered around Halloween, so like actually channeling Halloween. So if you're interested, definitely check it out as well. Okay, the decks that I'm working with for today's reading, of course, Wally's World. Susie said looking forward to that. If you guys are interested in my Wally's World, the link is down below. I'm also going to be utilizing the Zombie Tarot. Billy, hey! Says can't stay long tonight. It's been very thundery all day. Oh, and Billy says happy early birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like a lot of storms, maybe all over the globe. So yeah, we got some stuff here. Looks like you guys got stuff up in the UK right now. Susie said she has the energy oracle cards just because it is nearby. And okay, some of my other, I guess, spooky themed decks. I have the Autumn's Delight Oracle that was created by our friend V Love from over at V Love and Crystals. I also have the Halloween Tarot. And actually, this next trip, we're going to be leaving sometime next week. But this next trip, most of all my decks are coming with me. So I'm going to leave a few decks here for, live chats and stuff. But yeah, they're coming up there with me. All right, Le Vampire. I'm going to bust this out. Billy said all day on and off, torrential rain and massive thunderstorms. Sunset was incredible though, dude. I love storm sunsets. Susie throwing up the love for V Love and Crystals. Butterfly is going to be utilizing the Urban Crow Oracle, the Weird Sisters Oracle, Grimoire, and the RWS Tarot. Heck yeah. All right, and then I also have the Seasons of the Witch Samhain edition. Alrighty. Okie dokie. So let's go ahead and get started. If we have a little bit of time, I have a little book of Haunted Arizona. Maybe we can listen to a little spooky story if you guys are interested, and if we still have time and we're not like crazy, like been on here a long time. Okay, so I'm just trying to fix my candle. It's like trying to tip over. No. Okay, so let's put that there. Give me just a second. Alrighty. So, the Mayan dates. V has a lovely channel. Yes, she does. And Susie has posted the channel link in case you guys are interested in checking out V Love and Crystals or her other channel, V Love and Tarot. All right. So, the Mayan date. I am a Mayan astrologer. I do teach Mayan astrology over at Leon Mystery School. The link is down below if you guys are interested. Liesl is using the magical incantation cards. Cool. So I want to go over today's date, and then as we end, the week, which would be Saturday of next week, I want to talk about that date as well, and then the week energy that we'll be in, because it's a 13-day week technically, through Mayan astrology. So for this trecena today, we are in 9 Ben. Oh, thank you, Billy. Billy threw up the official website in case you guys are interested. All right, so 9, the number 9 is a very fertile number. It's a number of abundance. It's the number of creation, and we pair that with Ben. And actually, I talked about that when I was in the live chat with Ariana and Annette, our two Reiki teachers and masters and healers. So if you guys didn't get to catch that, the video is on my channel. But Ben is about the family. Oh, 1818 in the UK. 1818. So the family in Mayan astrology, Ben has 6 aspects of the home, and that your home is no matter where you are. So it's not just the physical home. And so Ben is your material possessions. That also includes like your actual home. It's your career. It's your romantic relationships. It's your other relationships with friends and things like that. It's all about your health. It's about your reactions, both positive and negative. And all of those energies comprise the home, which is your body, but it's also your physical home. And so with the number 9, we have a chance to bring in some sort of abundance in any of those 6 areas. So think about those 6 areas in your life, and what is it that you would like to bring in more of? And sometimes there are things that we want to release in order to bring in more of those things. So let's say in terms of finances, material possessions, that's all within Ben, the home. And let's say you want to bring in more of that. Well, you're going to have to make room for that. So how are you going to make room energetically and physically in your space in order to bring in more abundance of, let's say, the monetary form of abundance? If you wanted to bring in more abundance when it comes to your health, like you want an abundance of good health, you want to feel good, then what is it that you want to release energetically in order to make room for good health, which is a part of the home? So think about that today. You have all the opportunity and the energy around you in order to create abundance in any of those areas. But you must first think, where can I clear some space in order to allow that abundance in? All right. Let's see. Susie says, I drew appreciation number 15. Nice. And Billy said, oh, is your silver necklace a flower of life design? It's very pretty. Thank you. This one is actually the seed of life, which is one of my, I like the flower of life, but I like the seed of life because it's the start of something. And I think it's, and also it's kind of related to my day sign in Mayan astrology, which is Akbal, which is the sunrise. It's all about beginnings. So the seed of life is all about new beginnings. And I like that, you know, that's kind of like my jam, my thing. And Susie said, it is a nice day. It sure is. All right, so then going into the end of our week, we would start actually with Tukwak, and Tukwak would be on Saturday of next week. Oh, you're very welcome, Billy. And the new Tresena starts with Itsnab, which actually would start on Friday of next week. And Itsnab is the obsidian knife. And so we know that the obsidian knife can be used to heal or it can be used to hurt. So think about that throughout the next 13 days, starting next week, of how you would like the energy of your day to go. Do we want to dive into possibly hurting ourselves or others with our words, with our thoughts, our actions, or do we want to use this as a healing opportunity? So each day of those 13 days is a chance for you to figure out how you want to wield your obsidian knife, because you always and always will have the power. You always do have the power. Okay, so Saturday of next week is Tukwak, and Kwak is a divine feminine number. It's the number of, or the divine day sign. So it's the day sign of intuition, of creativity, of dreams and things like that. And so we pair that with the number 2, and it's all about duality. So where can we look at the duality of the divine feminine in everything that we create? And when we talk about divine masculine, divine feminine, we're not talking about gender, but we're talking about energies. And it's only within our very 3D human experiences that we apply a gender to those energies, where if you take the 3D matrix away, all it is just energy. So where could you balance that? Where could you see the duality in that? And that's something for you guys to have fun with on Saturday. Okay, so let's see. Billy said, as someone who's struggled with my health, I've created a box that is filled with items I find soothing and comforting. Dread long dark nights coming in, so plushies and books is in there. Very nice. Yeah, you know what? I got my stuffies on my bed, and as I was going through storage, I had to, because I had to downsize quite a bit, and I had to go through all of my stuffies and figure out like which ones could stay, which ones had to get donated. And Susie's saying there's a great idea that Billy has there. Kayla, hey! Speaking of YouTube members, that is one of our other YouTube members, Kayla, and she also has access to the new emojis that are on there. Okay, so the herb of the week, and I do believe this is Susie's favorite part, is the herb of the week. Okay, as I was kind of flipping through all of my different herbs and things like that, this one is not actually an herb per se. It's technically a fruit, but labeled a vegetable, and that is tomato. And actually, James and I were just talking about tomatoes because sometimes tomatoes can be really good for some people, and for some people they just really don't do well, eating. I want to talk about the magical property of tomato, and of course, if you can't stomach tomato, then obviously don't ingest it, don't eat it. It is a nightshade, and so way back when our ancestors here in the Americas started cultivating tomatoes, it was just used purely ornamentally, but also magically as well. So it was never something that was supposed to have been eaten way back when, because it was a nightshade, or is a nightshade. And so everybody knew that nightshades were poisonous. We don't want to eat nightshades, but they love the lovely colors that tomato can come in. And tomato doesn't always just come in that red orangey color, but it can come in a variety of colors. Oh, the mic is acting up once again. Really? You know, it didn't do it with the live chat last week, but here we go again. Billy said lots of self-care and safety box ideas and walkthroughs on YouTube. I've discovered the joy of fidget toys too, loving packing types of puzzles for diversions too. Okay, so some of you guys can hear me okay. Well, who knows what energy is playing around with my microphone again. Anyway, so with tomatoes, since there are so many people from so many different cultures that have immigrated into the Americas, a lot of those cultures have been integrated into American society. So it's a mix of, some of the Pennsylvania Dutch, some of the German settlers, we have, the Irish settlers, we have, all kinds of people come in and, here close to the border, we have a lot of Mexican Americans, we have a lot of so many different cultures, and that's what makes, I think, America so unique, is because we're a melting pot and our language reflects that. And sometimes I think, like, to learn the English language, I sometimes feel bad for people because there's such a mix, and there's such a mix of different prefixes, suffixes, and root words of all these different languages. Well, when it came to tomatoes, which was foreign to many foreigners coming into the country, but was readily recognized by other people, they knew to utilize it as a form of protection. So they would put tomatoes, or they would grow tomatoes in their yard in order to protect them from evil spirits. Later on, people figured out, well, I guess we could eat these, but not everybody is good with eating tomatoes. Me, I love tomatoes. My body runs fine on it. It's got lycopene in it. It's got a lot of vitamins. It's got vitamin A, vitamin K. It's got vitamin C, potassium, folate. Can be pretty good for helping with people with heart disease and warding off certain cancers. But, too much of a good thing. There is such a thing. But if you are going to use it magically and you're not going to eat tomatoes, maybe you want to grow them in your yard, maybe just leave them for the local wildlife to eat if they do. Sometimes they avoid it though. And use it as a protection, so maybe you can use that as a barrier around your home. Some people like to place tomato on their windowsill for a few days, obviously not too long because it'll rot. But a few days on your windowsill if you're looking to protect your home. Also, if you want to bring in love, you can use it for that. You can also use it for prosperity. And since today is a 9 day and it's about abundance and prosperity, maybe you want to utilize tomato. All right, so that's my ditty on tomatoes. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go back here. Okay, so Kayla was saying maybe just the mic was coming weird on her end. Billy said it was so spot on with your reading of Lou last week, saying he was messing with your light. He was always sitting on the light shades here. Aww. And Susie has tomato. Okay. Excellent. Yeah, me, I can't get enough of tomato. And when I was in Italy, yeah, I ate tomatoes like it was going out of style, and they were like ripe, they were in season. It was so good. All right, so let's go into our forecast. I am going to pull a card from Wally's World as our theme for the week. All right, and if you don't know who Wally is, he's my little Wally Wallito, my little puma who lives out in California with his dad. Billy said, it looks like I'll need to watch this on the catch up. More storms, don't want my computer to get fried. All right, well, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Stay warm, stay cozy. Maybe you can watch, you know what I like to watch when it's getting close to Halloween and it's maybe thundery and stormy outside? I don't know if you like to watch the Peanuts, like Snoopy and all of that. Maybe you want to watch The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. That's actually one of my favorites. I always have to watch like the Peanuts episodes, But I don't know, Billy, maybe you want to watch that. I don't know. But anyway, I hope you have a fabulous week. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, let's see. What does Wally have for us? Okay, looks like Wally has spoken. I'm going to go ahead and put this away. Susie's saying it's a good one. All right, The Great Pumpkin. This card, I can't believe this card just popped out. Michelle, hey! I took this picture a long time ago, and actually that's Wally photoshopped right there. This was at my friend's house. He always invited everybody over for his Dia de los Muertos parties. And this is actually his family altar, and we got to also bring pictures of our loved ones who had crossed over. This is Pan de Muerto, which is something that you make for the dead as an offering. I mean, you can eat it too, but technically there's supposed to be one that is for them, that you make it for them. And then there's all these calaveras there, which is like sugar skulls and everything. But I can't believe that, you know, getting so close to Samhain, to Dia de los Muertos and Halloween, that this card pops out. That's amazeballs. Anywho, just thought I'd mention that. Billy's like, I'll look out for it. I have an 80s on my shelf behind me. I love the little yellow bird he has as a friend. Brain fried, forgot the name. Woodstock. His name's Woodstock, the little yellow bird. Susie said the ancestors are speaking. They sure are. So let's dive into this and see what this means then for our week ahead, or the theme for our week ahead. Give me just a moment. Okay, the theme is, as the veil itself has already been thinning, and when we come around to this particular time of year, it thins even more. It's almost gotten to the point where we can physically almost touch the other side, you know, the dimension of the other side. And with this knowledge and knowing that all of our ancestors, whether they are connected to our bloodline or not, we still call them ancestors. They are the energies that came before us, if we look at things through a linear sense. But if we look at it more of time in its entirety, then we know that we always have access to these energies at any point in time in the present moment. And so if there's something that you're wanting to work on, there's something that you want to fix, or you want to heal, you want to bring in, you want to let go of, this is a wonderful time this week and around this time in general to call on those energies to aid you. Because not only are those energies your ancestors, but they are also you. They are pieces of you. Your ancestors are part of you, and you are part of them, and all is one right now in the present moment. So let's say you wanted to work on healing some past traumas. You might tap into the ancestor that is best equipped for helping you with that. You can also think of this as a spirit guide to help you at this time in working with that, knowing that the spirit guide is operating at a level in which they understand that particular part of you that can be healed, but also that spirit guide is you, if that makes sense. So this is a wonderful time for healing and for creating change and for understanding our environment in a different way, looking at the world in a different way in which we live. Okay. All right. Woo! Let's see what we got here. Billy's like, literally got that the same second you posted that, Susie. And Billy said, thanks for saving me from being up all night trying to remember it. Butterfly said, the crows gave us the theme of luck and stability. Nice. Susie says, that's one of my faves in Wally's World. Gorgeous photo. Dude, I love that. That is amazing. And I'm going to keep that propped up right there so I can refer to it with the rest of our reading. So put that to the side. I'm going to get a little bit of tea, and I'm going to bust out the zombie tarot so we could look at our forecast. Let's see, Billy said, that's beautiful. So resonate with that. Nice. Okay. I love this zombie tarot. It looks like a box of bullets to go take out some zombies. Okay. Let's go put that there and put that there. Okay, So here we go. We have our cards. Billy said, as you say, the veil already thinning on a difficult day, I smelt about 3 of my family members around the house. Yeah, you know, a lot of stuff going on around here too. I want to share something with you guys, but I don't know if it's the right time yet. So we'll see. We'll see at the end of the chat. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these cards up. I'm going to pull a few of them. And like I said, if you have your decks with you, if you would like to pull some cards as well, let's get a clearer picture of what's going on this week. And then I'll go into the elemental forecast so that we can get an even crisper picture, more crisp, yeah, picture of the week ahead. So we'll look into the fire signs, water, air, earth. Okay, so for me, I'm going to pull 4 cards. 4 just seems right. Okay. 2, 3. Oh, by the way, you guys, I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife last night. I will say that it may have been made for, most specifically, for the people who grew up on Ghostbusters. I mean, I think they were trying to bring in maybe some of the younger crowd using like the some of the characters from Stranger Things, but yeah, it was interesting. It was fun. It was a fun movie. I wouldn't say that it's like super original, but it's fun. Let's see. Susie says, makes no sense. I drew door to romance. Who knows why? Maybe romancing the South. It says maybe George and I need that. Nice. Michelle says she hasn't seen it yet. Yeah, it's like if you grew up on Ghostbusters and you really remember the first Ghostbusters, you'll do fine with that movie. I think it's just made as a tribute for all us 80s kids. So so there's that. Okay. Let's take a look at the cards. So I have them face down. Liesl drew friendship. Okay, so we have door to romance, friendship, butterfly love child had a card in there as well. Let's see, we have the 4 of swords. Okay, and we have the page of swords. Oh, getting on with our swordy goodness. Well, remember, we will be going into the week of Etznab, which is the obsidian knife. So like knife, sword. Okay, we have the Queen of Wands. Okay, so Butterfly Love Child had luck and stability. Interesting. Michelle said, nice. I'm an 80s baby. I'll check it out. Okay, cool. I think you'll like it. It's fun. It's a fun movie. Billy said, love Dan Aykroyd. I also love Chevy Chase with the 2 of them in Spies Like Us movie. Doctor. Remember? Yeah, the surgery scene. Yeah, they're all like, doctor. Yeah, all those 80s movies. Yeah, that's my jam. And then we have the 2 of Hazards, which is like the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, so let's take a look at anything that's missing. So we have swords, we have wands, we have pentacles, but we don't have water. So we're missing water for this week. Interesting, because Susie pulled something about romance and relationships, and then there was the friendship card, and also butterfly love child having luck and stability. And stability, I would think, would mean integrating our relationships, right? And that seems to be the card that's missing, though. So there's something for us to look into with that. I want to see if there's any repeating numbers, and we do not. We have 2 court cards. We have a 4 and we have a 2, but 2 is a multiplier of 4, so so there we go. Okay, let me dive into this one and see what this actually means for us for the week. Okay, this feels like a lot of balanced action within the self and balanced action outside of us. And if at any point with the two swords cards, two being, are the swords being the dominating feature within this particular week in this particular spread, we know that the ego could be a factor in this week, and it could be our block as well this week. So if romance and friendships and stability and all of that came up, we want to keep a lookout to see where our ego, even though maybe we're not directly relating or like interacting with our friends and interacting with our romantic partners and things like that, we got to make sure that the ego isn't getting in the way. So figuring out how we can put that to rest so that we can move forward in the things that truly do light us up, and so that we can listen to our heart and move forward with that. Because when we're in our heart space, then the energy around us shifts and changes, and thus has an effect on our friendships and our romantic relationships, and actually relationships of any kind, you know, from the people that we love most to the people we run into at the supermarket. And this also brings to mind the special question that you guys voted on. There was two questions that actually tied, even though I had added up all the votes from Patreon and YouTube memberships, it still ended up coming to a tie. And one of those questions is about you guys wanting to know, how do I release the ego? What techniques can I use when it flares up? And so it seems like the ego is going to be a big thing this week, where, you know, maybe something, we were just going about our day, but we're going about it in a very egotistical way, or in an ego mindset, an ego energy. And so that's something that we want to try to get out of, especially if we're going to be listening to our ancestors, working with spirit, working with our guides and all of that. It's really hard to hear them and to allow in their guidance if the ego, which is just a matrix program, is in the way. We don't want that program to get in the way. We want them to be able to work with our true and natural essence, which is our higher self, or some people also know it as the soul. But remember that the choice is always yours this week. So if you make that choice of, I'm going to continue in this feeling and this mindset of what my ego wants to do, then that's your choice. No choice is considered a bad choice, but remember that any choice you make has its repercussions. Even quote unquote good choices have their repercussions. So just be willing to accept the responsibility of your choices, no matter what they are, and also accepting the lessons that come with those choices. Everything is a learning experience. So utilize that experience. Okay. All right. Woo. Okay, let's see. Let's go back here. Billy said, got lots of water here due to be raining all week. Whoa. And Susie said that today is a Libra moon. So we got balance there, balancing those scales. Butterfly said, my spread indicates that if we should probably watch our words, they can hurt others if thrown out rashly. Making an effort to harmonize and find joy with one another can bring the stability we seek. Perfect. Then she got the Knight of Swords, the Nine of Wands, the Star, Two of Cups, and the Emperor. And Susie said, oh yes, the eclipse on the 25th. It's coming soon, you guys. And Butterfly said the Grimoire cards I got were Candle for Clearing, Spell for Drawing Down the Moon, and Spell for Healing. And Butterfly said the eclipse is on her birthday. That's Tuesday, right? That we have our eclipse in, our solar eclipse in the Scorpio moon, I believe. So you know what that means, Butterfly. We're going to have to sing you a little happy birthday. Susie said, wow, big day, Butterfly. This is a new beginning. Happy birthday. Lots of birthday wishes all around. Okay, so before we go into the elemental reading, we're gonna have to do a little happy birthday for Butterfly. All right, so let me get my tea. Clear the vocal cords. Here we go. Okay. I mean, make some room, as if I need room to sing. Okay, put those there. Put this in here. Okay, Butterfly, are you ready? And you guys can join in. You know, maybe she can't hear you, but she'll definitely feel the vibes. All right, so her birthday is coming up on Tuesday for our moon in Scorpio and our solar eclipse. All right, so, all right, here we go. A one, a two, a one, two, three. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear butterfly love child. Happy birthday to you. Boop, 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 doop, boop. I hope that you have a wonderful birthday, and I hope that this next year will be the year that brings all the abundance and goodness and healing and everything that you've ever wished for. All right. Okay, so let's move into our elemental reading. And for that, I'm going to use V Love and Crystal's deck, the Autumn's Delight. And I'm going to pull a card for our fire signs, water signs, earth signs, and air signs. So let's start with fire first. And let me know if we have any fire signs in the chat. Hanging out with any fire babies. I do have some fire in my chart. It's not in my sun, moon, or rising, but I do have Leo in my north node. Oh, looks like we have a card for our fire signs. Let's see what it is. Okay. Oh, we have home. Well, welcome home, Dorothy. Susie's like, I wish I was that cool. Kayla is a rising Leo. Actually, James is a Leo rising as well. I think he knows some fire signs in his life. I don't have any. No, wait, I have one fire sign that I know in our family. That's my half sister. Yeah, otherwise, there's like 1 month where it's like no birthdays, really. All right, so fire signs, we have home. Let's see what this means. As it pertains to our theme card and the general forecast read that we already got. Okay, fire signs. It seems like many of you have been a little frustrated with the things that you've been trying to create, the things that you've been trying to bring in. And instead of looking for an external blockage or looking for the money that's needed for this or that, looking for the 3D reason or the material reason, or perhaps maybe you think it's a person that's in the way of the things that you're wanting, or they're just not coming as fast as you want it to come. This message is all about trying to rebalance the inside, starting with the home, which is the inside of you. And today, being 9Ben, all about the home, it is the 6 aspects of yourself. So where within yourself can you work on healing? And of course, the ego would be offended by this. The ego doesn't want you to look into all of that because it wants to continue to just be, itself. And it doesn't understand what healing does because it's just a program. Consider it just a computer, and a computer lacks empathy, it lacks emotion, it lacks intuition. It's all it does is just run, and it knows that all it can do is just be ego. And so the higher self would want you to take a look into those 6 aspects, knowing that if you were to really truly focus on any one of those aspects and to heal it, you would grow and you would expand from that, and that it is for your best and highest good. It's not condemning you, it's not pointing a finger at you, it's not judging you. It's saying, hey, there are 6 things that need to be healed. And that is it. There are some places within you. So if you have been struggling, like we said, with any of those things externally, then we have to look internally in order to move forward externally. All right. All right, fire signs. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Um, Butterfly said, fire cauldron to cultivate. That reminds me, I have to bring a little cauldron up to the property next time we go up. Yeah, to put it on the list. And Susie's coming in with the new cauldron emoji that the YouTube members can use. I was like, I have to put a cauldron in there. Like, of course. All right, so let's take a look at earth signs. All right. My earth babies. So Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising. Let's see what you guys have here. I don't have any earth in my chart, but you know, maybe that's why I surround myself with some friends that are earthy. Kayla said, great message. Okay, we have expulsion. And here we have this jack-o'-lantern expelling all these cool, wonderful, like, colors out of it. Like those little smoke bombs. That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's see what this means for our earth signs. And we do have some earth babies in here. Lisa is a Capricorn. Susie says, I have a stellium in air and earth. Okay. Butterfly said, for earth, spell for courage. Nice. Well, you're going to need some courage if you're going to do some expulsion, right? So let's tap into this one for our earth signs. Okay, earth signs, it's time to get moving this week. We know that earth signs inherently tend to be a little bit more grounded, but sometimes so grounded it can be to their detriment, where they get a little too comfortable in a particular physical place or an energetic place. But if you want to move forward and obtain certain things or you do new projects, you're going to have to get yourself out of your little comfortable physical space and or energetic space. So this is what I'm getting for expulsion, actually expelling yourself from the current energetic and or, like I said, physical space that you are in. So it's time for change, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And what better time than to start this week when you have the help of all of your ancestors, all of your past lives, all of our animal friends that have crossed over in spirit. You have access to all of them because all of them in essence are you. And so you have all this extra help with you this week. And if you find it difficult to get out of that space, call on the energy, call on your higher self to help you move forward. But really the big message is get out of your space, get moving, get out of that energetic space and get out of that physical space if you're wanting to create some changes this week. All right. Okay. Alrighty, earth signs. Okay, let's go into our water signs. Susie said it will do, and she is a Virgo rising. Butterfly is also a Virgo rising as well. Hey, hey. Susie said Capricorn moon, Jupiter in Capricorn, and North Node is also in Capricorn. Dude, it's like a Cappy party going on in your chart. Okay, water signs. So yes, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising. Michelle said definitely getting that message. Okay, okay. Okay, let's see. Water signs. I'm gonna have a little bit more tea if we're gonna be doing water signs. Butterfly is a Scorpio, Sun and Moon. I'm a Scorpio rising. James is a Scorpio Sun. Kayla is a Sun in Cancer and a Cancer stellium. You know, I have a little bit of Cancer in my chart. Cancer is in Mars and Cancer is in Venus, I believe. And then my Gemini, which is my Sun, is in Mercury. Yeah. Who's in Mars? You know what? Cancer might be in Mars too. No wonder I'm so watery. I'm like airy and watery. Lisa said Cancer, Moon, and Rising. Susie said Venus and Mars in Cancer too. Okay. I always think, you know, I mean, I have a lot of air in my chart, but I sure do possess a lot of watery qualities. Susie said we should listen to all the cards. Yeah, I know, right? Okay. So this is for the water signs, and we have truth, as Susie was talking about listening to all the cards. And here we have this owl. Like, why are you staring at me? Like, stop looking into my soul. And actually, up at the property at a certain time at night, pretty late at night, there is an owl that lives in a tree near where our RV is at. And I believe it talks to another owl that I can hear in the distance, but they're like hooting at each other. And I've never seen this owl. I do have one of its feathers that it dropped, but I've never seen this owl. I would like to see it at some point, just like this owl staring at me. Kayla loves owls. Okay, so let's see what this means for our water signs. Truth, truth bomb. Look at me. Look at me. Oh my gosh, I love this card. Okay, let's see. All right, water signs. Okay, there are truth bombs coming in this week. So there are some actual truths that might be pretty challenging to your biggest beliefs, your core beliefs, what you believe the world to be, who you believe to be as a person, how you believe the world works. There's going to be some truths coming in that are going to challenge all of those things. Now, Cancers, you could throw up your little shell and decide I'm not going to listen to any of these truths because they don't resonate with me, and it would throw off my whole world if any of those things were true, even though they are true. But maybe I choose not to believe them, and that is your choice. For our little Pisceans, some of you might want to swim away from this truth. For our Scorpios, you may want to attack it with your little stinger. I don't like that truth. That truth, if that's true, then I have to believe that this is true. And if that's true, I have to believe that this is true. And so it's kind of a peeling back of many things. So you decide this week, just like I said, we're going to be starting a brand new Trecena on Friday with that obsidian knife. You choose with these truths that are coming in. Truths are just truths. There's no positive or negative about it. It just is. But your reaction to it, that's what shapes and molds it to being something positive or negative. It's how you see it. It's how your shadows see it. It's how your energy sees it. And so that's when you take your obsidian knife and you can either attack it and say, I can't accept this at this time. Or, you know what? This is totally going to blow up my whole world wide open, and I'm ready for some mega changes. Let's cut that baby open and let's let this healing in. But neither choice is considered better than the other. It's merely a choice. And remember what we said before, that every choice has a repercussion, it has a consequence, and you have to be able to accept responsibility for the choices that you make and the consequences that result from that, but also at the same time being able to understand the learning that comes with it. So either are you going to reject the truth that comes in because you've placed a negative connotation on it, or are you going to accept the truth that comes in because you've placed a positive connotation on it? Truth is just truth, and it's just how we look at it. So water signs. Okay, let's see, let's go back here. Butterfly is showing up all the owls. Jasange, hello, says hi. Okay, let's go into our air signs. That was a doozy for our water signs. Okay. Okay, air signs. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, although sometimes people think Aquarius is water just because of like the water jug and the fact that it's like 3 wavy lines, but it's actually air. It's an air sign. Butterfly's like, it's gonna be a long week. But it's a birthday week, so it makes it better. Okay, air signs. I am a Gemini sun. I'm a Libra moon. Kayla is an Aquarius moon. So yeah, I got the double air going on here. Okay, it looks like we have our card. And let's see. Ooh, we have harmless. Butterfly said for air, she got sigil for fertility. Interesting. Okay, I have something coming in for this one. Hold on. Air signs. Okay, so air signs. Um, you know, none of the readings for each of the elements is an island upon itself. You know, we're a mixture of all of these elements. Therefore, the messages have a mix to some degree within each of us. And so, if growth, healing, truths appear for us this week, and let's say we do feel that certain shadows that are coming up, or perhaps the ego flaring up, may seem overwhelming or terrible or scary, just know that since they are all aspects of the self, and if we can look at our shadows that way instead of something that is separate from us, you know, oftentimes there are certain aspects of ourself where we see ourselves in a negative light, and so we try to disassociate ourselves from that, even though it's a piece of us, so that we can feel better. But actually, it's the opposite. If we can integrate the parts of ourselves that we think are the most dark and the most shadowed, we say, hey, it's just a part of me, and if it's just a part of me, then I have control over its healing. All of a sudden, those aspects of ourselves seem to be less scary, because we realize it's what makes up our totality, that we are both a light and dark person. Even those of us that call ourselves light workers, we do have shadow within the self, and to deny that part of ourself is to deny half of ourself. It's kind of like a TED talk that I had showed my students way back when, and they were talking about gender within a culture, and they were saying that if a culture decided that only one gender was more important, let's say the masculine gender, and they only embraced that, then the country was only half as good as it could be, because they totally denied the other gender from their country. And if you incorporated both halves, both the masculine and the feminine, you created a country, in this case a country, that was strong and whole. The same thing for yourself. We have to be able to accept the darkest parts of ourselves just as readily as we accept the lightest parts of ourselves. Because if we can remember that we are a balance of those two things, but again, it's how we look at the energy of that, the energy that we place on the darkest part of ourselves. We can look at it with a negative light, or we can look at it with a positive light. That's our choice. But we have to be able to look at it as a whole, that we are an entire person that includes dark and light aspects of the self, and that I have the power to heal those dark aspects, because those aspects are a part of me and I'm no longer afraid of them. And so air signs, you do have a chance to work on integrating those two halves of yourself, and you will come to realize that when you reintegrate that part of yourself that you're most afraid of, you're an even more powerful being, because you're looking at your energy as a whole instead of a half. Okay. Well, it's gonna be a nice week. Okay then. Okay, just a shadow week. Whatevs. Let's see. Susie said Aquarius moon. Kayla is really smart. And Kayla said, I do love to read. Nice. All right. Woo! Well, you guys, we have quite the week cooked up here. That's interesting. Okay, so I want to go into the special question. So like I said, you guys tied on the special question. So we're actually going to have to pull a card for 2 questions. So let me make some room once again. Put these over here. Okay, and I'm going to bust out the Halloween tarot. Cute little tin deck here. and I'll let you guys know what those two questions were. So, Susie is looking forward to this week. Okay. Hey, man. It's a chance for some big healing. Okay. So, on my YouTube channel and over on my Patreon page, and also for my YouTube members, I post 4 questions, usually on a Thursday. And then everybody gets to vote on those 4 questions, the question they want me to answer during the Sunday live chat. And so if you're a Patreon member or you're a YouTube member, technically you get to vote more times than the average person. So if there is a question that they really want to see answered, then they would cast their vote on Patreon, YouTube, and their YouTube membership. Okay, so like I said, it tied though, so here we go. Here are the 2 questions. Question number 1, what technique can I use to silence the ego when it flares up? And I think that's pertinent because it sounds like it might flare up this week. Question 2, what message do my ancestors and spirit animal guides have for me? And that makes sense because of this card that popped up at the very beginning with our theme card. Okay, so let me go ahead and take a look at our deck here. So I'm going to pull a card for each of those questions and then I'll answer them individually. So the first card being, what technique can we utilize to silence our ego when it flares up this week, as it may be apt to do? Oh, okay, well that card just flew out on its own volition, so I'm just going to put that off to the side. And then the second card is a message from our ancestors and spirit animal guides on the other side. What message do they have for us? Okay, looks like we have our card. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put that there. So let's take a look at the first one. What technique can I use to silence the ego if and when it flares up this week? So Susie has posted the question, what technique can we utilize to silence our ego? Yes. Looking forward to this one. And we have the King of Ghosts, which is the King of Cups. This is such a cute card, by the way. Okay, so let's dive into this one, the King of Cups, or the King of Ghosts. Dropping into the heart space. Let's give an example. Let's say somebody says something that triggers a self-esteem issue. And the words that they said hurt you. And you decide that you no longer want to be friends with this person. You don't like this person anymore, and you're not going to listen to anything they say after this because what they said triggered the low self-esteem shadow within the self. And remember that what we're talking about, if we haven't accepted those shadowy parts of ourself, then we can't accept what that person just said. We can't accept it as just words. Instead, we take it, and it stabs us right in the ego. The ego will want to flare up, want to lash back, say something nasty right back to that person because you want them to feel how you think they made you feel. Although they didn't make you feel at any particular way, you choose to feel that way based on the unhealed trauma or shadow that they triggered. Instead, if somebody, we take this scenario again, somebody says something to you, triggers a low self-esteem shadow within the self, and your ego wants to flare up and say something nasty or think terrible thoughts about this person and about why you're in a bad mood now, instead drop into the heart space. Is saying what I'm about to say going to help me heal? will it make me feel better in reality? Not will it make my ego feel better? Is this a part of my healing journey? Will this make me heal? If not, then maybe this isn't something I should say. Now let's go into our thoughts. We want to think some nasty thoughts. Thinking these thoughts, do they make me feel good? Do they? Or do they make you feel worse? Do they make you feel angry? Do they make you feel sad? Then maybe these thoughts aren't appropriate at this time. What is it that they said that actually triggered me? And we run that through our heart space. And we decide, is it the thing they said? Or is it the thing that they said that triggered something within myself that believes that might be true? And if I believe that that's true, then where is that actually coming from? Let's say somebody called you a name, that you're a dum-dum, and that hurts your feelings. And you say, that's not true, I'm not a dum-dum. Well, then why are you so upset? You would only be upset if you figured that that was true, somewhere deep down in your shadow. But if you haven't integrated that part of yourself, if you haven't accepted that part of yourself, then you can't accept what they have just said. And it's very hard to pinpoint where that shadow lies. Instead, we look at inside of ourselves and we say, you know what, somewhere in my core belief, I do believe I'm a dum-dum. And I know that this is actually not true. So this is something that I have to heal. So instead, in our mind, we don't have to say it out loud, we can thank the person for showing us that we have this negative belief about ourselves being unintelligent or not smart. And that's a part that needs to heal. And that's looking at it through the heart space. So next time the ego flares, we have to pause. We truly do. And we have to run everything that we're thinking, that we're feeling, that we want to say, or we want to do physically. We have to run it through our heart space. Does this feel like a healing action? Does this make me feel good inside? If not, then we know that it's coming from the ego and it's not actually coming from our higher self. Our higher self would say, whoa, what that person just said actually correlates with a negative belief about the self. And that's something that needs to be healed. Once it's healed, next time somebody says, you're a dum-dum, it doesn't mean anything to you because it doesn't resonate with you. The only time we become angry is when somebody says something or does something that actually resonates at a shadow level. And that's why it's important to integrate both halves of the self so you can more clearly see it and you can more readily heal it. Whew. Whew. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. And then Susie posted the second question. What is a message from our spirit guides and ancestors? Wow. Michelle's like, sage advice. Dude. That's like easier said than done. But you know what? I will try. All we can do is try, right? So, wow. Wow. I don't know. I'm going to try that out this week. I hope you guys give it a go too. Okay. Question number 2, which is the one that Susie posted. What message do my ancestors and spirit animal guides have for me? I know, right, Michelle? Because, you know, it's like in the heat of the moment. In the heat of the moment, my ego wants to flare out. So I am legit going to try that, you know, and I hope you guys try it too. Just like stop and it's like, what I'm about to say, is this actually like a healing thing for me to say right now? Or this thing I'm thinking, like, is it a healing thing for me to think right now? Is this actually going to help me? If not, whoa, then that's the voice of my ego. And that's probably going to be like a stab to the ego as well, because I just pinpointed the ego. The ego couldn't hide, right? Okay, we have the Page of Ghosts, which is actually the Page of Cups. And this is a message from our ancestors and our spirit animal guides. And I like that we have the little kitty cat here. So let's see what this means for us. Oh, for many of you guys, your guides and your spirit animal guides and your ancestors and your past selves, all aspects of the self are all letting many of you know that you're right on the precipice of another level of understanding this reality and actually how to manipulate this reality, because it's only one of many realities. And if it's only one of many realities, then what's true here isn't true in all those other realities. And if you can accept that, then you know that you can use the energy of those other realities, dimensions, in order to manipulate this one, since it isn't the only dimension, it isn't the only reality that exists. And many of you can understand what I'm saying, and many of you are this close to being able to unlock that key to truly understanding how to shape and manipulate this reality. Many of you guys that are magical practitioners kind of have a sense of that, knowing that we can utilize things in order to manipulate the reality, but understanding that those tools and things that we use are useless without the magic that is us. Hence, it's our energy that manipulates the reality. Many of us know this at a conscious level, but it's much more difficult to understand it at a subconscious level, because there is a lot of what we've talked about already, ego programming. But not just for this week, but moving forward, there is a reason many of you guys are being shown your shadows more and more, and it seems more and more intense. If a lot of you guys have been going through a very difficult time, it's like, why do all these things keep happening? It's like you keep feeling like you're going into a dark place, or that people are always trying to mess with you. Like, why does it feel like things are getting more and more difficult? It's because you're getting closer and closer to being able to expand your mind beyond this reality, to be able to manipulate this reality. So your biggest shadows, your biggest, darkest aspects of yourself are coming up for a reason. It's not to punish you or to block you, but because it's like, hey person, this needs truly to get healed, because you gotta bust through this so that you can finally move to that next stage of your evolution. So, like I said, if you've been going through tough times, there's a reason for that. Your deepest, darkest shadows are coming up for a reason, because it's finally time to heal those, reintegrate it in a transmuted way, and move on to that next level. Woo! That I'm ready for. I'm here for that. Susie's like, ooh, nice. Okay. I am so here for that. Okay, we have the viewer's choice. These two questions James and I came up with, and for the first question, I'm going to have people vote with a red heart emoji, or if you're not near your cell phone and you're at a computer, I'm going to have you type the words red heart. Okay, and that's how we're going to vote. I'm going to add up hearts. For the second question, if you like that question more and you want me to pull a card on that question or channel that message, then vote with a green heart emoji, or if you're at the computer, type the words green heart. Okay, and then afterwards, I'll do a little Jeopardy music, and then I'm going to count up all the red hearts, and I'm going to count up all the green hearts. Ishani, hey, says, hey everyone, sorry for joining late. Hey, no worries. That's why we got the replay. Okay, so first question, if you like this question, vote with a red heart or type the words red heart. How can I better connect with loved ones who have crossed over? How can I better connect with loved ones who have crossed over? If you like that question, vote with a red heart or type the words red heart. Question number 2. Rather than run from my shadow, how can I integrate my shadow? Rather than run from my shadow, how can I integrate my shadow? If you like that question, go ahead and vote with a green heart emoji or type the words green heart. All right, here goes the Jeopardy music, and post your votes. So red hearts, green hearts, take it away. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay, let me go ahead and have a little bit more tea, and I will count up those votes. Go ahead, if you haven't already voted, go ahead and vote. Okay. Kayla said they're both really good questions. All right, so let's see. We have Kayla's red heart, Susie's red heart, Liesel's red heart. So those are 3 for the red. And then we have Ishani's green heart, Butterfly's green heart, Michelle's green heart. Oh. And then did I miss? So wait, we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Did I miss one? I think it's 3 and 3. So I think it's 3 and 3. So we do need a tiebreaker. So we have 3 red hearts, and we have 3 green hearts. We need a little tiebreaker. So somebody else in the chat, throw in a red or throw in a green. either the red pill or a green pill. Pick your poison. Otherwise, I'd be more than happy to flip a coin, if you guys don't mind. Or maybe, oh, James left the room. I think his cousin is calling. Otherwise, I'd have him do the tiebreaker. Okay. I'll do a little chinchweed. Somebody throw in a red heart or a green heart. Otherwise, I'm flipping a coin for you all. Oh, that chinchweed feels so good. Okay, I have a coin. Give me just a second here. Ugh. All right, Butterfly said coin flip. Ishani said coin. Okay, so I have my Mayan copper coin here. So it's got the Mayan cross on one side, the Mayan calendar on the other. No worries, Susie. I miscount all the time. Okay, so the Mayan calendar is going to be red hearts. The Mayan cross is going to be green hearts. Okay, so red heart, green heart. Let's get ready. We have red hearts. Okay, red hearts. Red hearts it is. Red hearts, how can I better connect with loved ones who have crossed over? All right, and so for that one, I have my Les Vampires deck. Le Vampire. Okay. How can I better connect with loved ones who have crossed over? Let's see what the vampires have to say. Ooh, by the way, I did a channeling of vampires. If you're interested in that, go check it out on my playlist, my channeling playlist. Okay, it looks like we have our card. That was an interesting channeling. Actually, all of them are interesting channelings. Susie said, red it is. Both are good questions. Whee whee. All right, we have nobility, honor, high standards, idealistic. Ishani said, yes, that video is awesome. I loved your comment, Ishani. Thank you for sharing the story on there. That's so cool. Susie said, amazing video. So we have this like winged vampire lady, and it looks like she has a couple of wolves here. So let's see how that can help us integrate how we can connect to our loved ones more easily with this message here. Next time you're trying to connect with someone or something that has crossed over, Perhaps you have a fur baby or a feathery baby or scaly baby that has crossed over. Maybe you have a family member or a friend who has crossed over. Instead of trying your hardest to feel the energy or hear the message of your friend, of your family member, of your bird or dog or lizard or snake or kitty cat, whatever it may be, instead look at it like calling out to an aspect of yourself. Remember that we are all connected, whether we are currently in a physical form or not. We're all connected. So let's say I call in the energy of my grandfather. I'm calling for my grandfather and the essence of myself that is connected to him. If you do that, it makes it easier for you in your human form to be able to bring that energy in and listen to the messages, because you're actually calling in the aspect of yourself. You're calling in your own energy and the part of him that is connected to that energy. I hope this makes sense. So next time you want to connect to a pet that has crossed, or like we said, a friend or loved one, say, I want to connect to, say their name, and the aspect of myself that is connected to that. Oftentimes it's more easy, or it's easier to connect with your own energy than it is to think that you're connecting with an energy that is separate of yourself. Because we know our own energy, we know what that feels like. So if you ask that piece of you that is also part of your grandfather, your grandmother, your mother, your dad, your sister, your brother, your dog, your cat, and ask that to come in with your energy, you'll notice that the messages you receive sound very familiar, because it may almost sound just like you talking to you, or it may feel familiar because it is your energy, but they are on that energy wavelength. They are being carried in, almost like shipped in with your energy. And also, it's a more protective way of bringing in their energy so as not to be fooled by tricksters. Oftentimes people say that they're scared to connect with spirits, to connect with other energies, because the energies they see are separate from themselves and they don't understand the energy, they don't know what it feels like. So if you instead call on your own energy to be that bubble around that spirit to bring them in, it's almost talking to them in a protected manner, because you're protected by your own energy. And if it doesn't feel like your energy, then you know something is amiss and you know to let it go. Okay, I hope that made sense for you guys. Susie said, puppies. Ishani said, my pleasure. We have such a cool community here. I love being here. Yes. And Ishani said, what a beautiful message. Thank you. You answered the second question as well, though, this message in a way I felt. Yeah, actually, yeah. So, and that makes sense. Now that I think about it, kind of what was coming through, that, you know, somebody who doesn't consider themselves a medium, you know, they don't do a lot of spirit work. Like, let's say, you know, because I mean, all of my grandparents have crossed over. So let's say I wanted to connect to my Nana's energy. I would say I want to connect to the aspect of my Nana that is me, you know. So in essence, I'm still connecting to myself, but I'm protected by my own energy. And if it doesn't feel like my energy, I know that that's not my Nana. And so I guess, yeah, that could be a good way for you guys to maybe not be so scared. Some of you guys, I know, get a little nervous about, you know, working with spirits, but maybe that might be a more comforting way to work with it when the energy coming in is recognizable, because it's your own energy, but, you know, your loved one just happens to be riding that energy on in with it. But if it doesn't feel like you know to let that go and try again. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Okay. All right. So I have some folks in here who are my Patreon members and who are my YouTube members, and I actually want to pull a message for you guys. So um, let us know if you are one of our membership homies or you're a Patreon homie. I know Butterfly's in here. She's one of my patrons. Lisa and Susie and Kayla are in here. Those are my YouTube members. But I know that maybe there's other people who are lurking. But I want to pull a special message for you guys as a thank you for the extra love that you guys give. And I want to make sure that you guys know that you guys really do make a difference. Like this whole thing that I'm doing right now with the homesteading and getting ready to, do hashtag burning sage, which is really going to be a thing someday. Like, you guys are helping to make that happen. Seriously. I hope you guys know that. Butterflies like, hey. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull you guys a card. And I'm going to use the Seasons of the Witch Samhain edition. Okay, I can't read the whole deck for you guys because it seemed like the whole deck wanted to come out. So we're gonna have to like pare this down a little bit. Okay, those cards flew in like that. Wow. Okay, you guys got a lot of energy. So, okay, so here were the two main cards that flew out. It was Owl once again, and then we had Ritual. So I'm gonna read these cards to you guys. Okay, so for Owl, it says, "Behold sight, O ancient ones, for there is magic in the darkest of places if one dares to open their eyes." And then we have Ritual. "Can you feel them, wild creatures linked by the very blood you will spill into your craft? A ritual of dedication to self and those whose gazes hold fire, but whose whispers carry you softly through the unknown." Woo! Okay, so Ritual and Owl. Let's see, what does this mean for my YouTube members and my subscribers on Patreon? Okay, so this is a reminder to get into the daily habit, if not multiple daily habit, of listening to your inner guidance, really setting aside a time to do that. Even if you're pausing in the kitchen for 5 minutes or in the middle of working, pause for those 5 minutes. Try to do this at least once a day, if not multiple times a day. The more chances you get to listen to your higher self and to listen to your heart space, the less chance your ego gets to steer you in a direction that is not for your best and highest good. This also will help when triggers arise, when shadows arise. You'll begin to understand more intimately the voice of your higher self versus the voice of the ego. The voice of the ego is very good at wearing masks. Just like we wear masks on Halloween to pretend to be something that we are not, the ego pretends to be something that it is not. Sometimes it'll wear the mask of your higher self, but it is actually not your higher self. Sometimes it'll wear the mask of your childhood self or the mask of someone who has hurt you. But it is none of those things. It is only a program pretending to be something else. So it is of the utmost importance, more important than money, more important than anything on this planet, more important than all the jewels and the gold and the biggest houses and the fanciest of cars. It is of most importance for you guys to continue to tap into your higher self on a daily basis, if not multiple times a day. For when the next time the ego pretends to be your higher self, you know that it is not. You can cast it aside and immediately drop into your higher self, drop into your heart space, and say, what is it that I truly need to know at this time? There must be a reason my ego is speaking to me at this time, which is a signal for me to talk to the actual part of me, the real part of me, my true essence. And that should be your daily ritual. It's what is needed for you to walk steadily on your path. It's what's needed for you as a human being. It's your flashlight in a world that may be foreign to many of you, as this may be your first time here on earth. All right. Woo! I hope that resonated with you guys. Wow. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think sometimes as human beings, like we get so caught up in all the matrixy stuff, the 3D stuff, that we decide that our like spiritual side is something that only when we have time for. Like when I have time, I'll go meditate. When I have time, I'll like drop into my heart space. But really, that's actually the thing that's more important than the thing we think is important, which is the 3D world. But the 3D world is actually just an illusion. So why would we give more importance to that than to the actual truth, which is us, our true essence? Susie said, thank you, you're the best, and I wish you and James all the success and happiness in the world. Thank you so much. Susie was getting chills. Whoa, dude. Okay, I think, okay, maybe I'll do super chats first, but maybe I will share my some learnings that have been coming in. Okay, so if anybody wants to do super chats, that's super stickers, super chats. If anybody wants to do that, I'll go ahead and pull a card for those people. Those are people that are wanting individual, like one card readings, and you can donate any amount with your super chats or super stickers. But then if not, then I'll just dive straight into like some things that I learned today while off in the ethers. Oh, Ishani says oh yay, you're celebrating Diwali in India today. That's the Festival of Lights, right? I said so happy Diwali to all of you. Lots of best wishes to all. Thank you, same to you. And Kayla said, I have a milestone, Chad, yay! Yes. So Kayla has a milestone. Kayla, since you're here, member for 4 months, let's pull a card for you. So Kayla, if you have a question or maybe you just want a general read, I'd be more than happy to pull that for you. Yes, but Kayla has been with us for 4 months now. Thank you so much. And by the way, if any of you are wondering, like, who are these YouTube members and patrons? The links for all of that are down below. It's just a way to show support for the channel, show support for what I'm doing. If you truly believe in what I'm doing, then go ahead and support it. And I think that's something that's lovely about this technological age that we're in. Instead of having the media or whatever say this is a person that you should listen to, or this is like somebody that you should follow or put your time and attention into. Instead of that, it seems like we have at least a little bit more freedom in who we choose to listen to, who we choose to give our time and energy to. And we do that through Patreon, through YouTube memberships, through platforms like that, where you guys decide that these are the people that you want to help and follow and things like that. And that's what I appreciate. So, okay. Kayla said, it's been a good 4 months. Nice. Okay. So, do you have a particular question in mind, or would you just like a general reading? Because I'm going to use my little Samhain oracle here. And in the meantime, just keeping an eye on my candle. I'm going to spray myself with chinchweed again because it's so nice. Susie said, I love that. Okay. Getting a little shuffle on here. And then afterwards, maybe I'll share some goodness. Okay, so general reading, Kayla. Okay. Here we go. And by the way, if like I said, if anybody did want to do a super chat or super sticker, now is the time to do so. Okay, there is your card. It just went flying across. It almost landed in my candle, but it didn't. A little aggressive on the shuffling. Okay, we have voices. It says, with a tug at the gut, feel them romance your very breath. Listen to the gentle flickering within your eyes, for this is where they guide. Voices. All right, Kayla. This feels like I'm actually connecting to your higher self. There have been many more times lately that you've been catching yourself when it comes to listening to your intuition or that voice in your head, that gut feeling, if you will, where somebody says something or you're about to go into a situation and immediately you already have a feeling about it, you have a gut feeling about it, you have the little voice in your head that says, Kayla, you should do this, or don't do this, Kayla. Don't talk to this person, or don't go in here. You've heard this little voice. And yet maybe, as is very human, you may have brushed it aside, decided there wasn't enough evidence to back up the little voice in your head or the gut feeling, and you went in the opposite direction. Immediately after doing so, you realized, oh man, I already knew that I shouldn't have done that, or that I should have done this. Why didn't I listen to myself? But now you're catching yourself more often than you have in the past. In the past, the higher self, which is the voice in your head, the gut feeling, has spoken to you. You may have ignored it. Then there was the consequence of that, but there was no correlation, no connection. You may not have made that connection in the past. But now in the present, you're getting it even faster. Where the little voices in your head, Kayla, do this. Human Kayla decides to do the opposite. Immediately though, you're aware of what has just happened. And this is not a chance for you to berate yourself, to say, oh man, why didn't I listen to my intuition? Why didn't I listen to my gut? Why didn't I listen to that voice in my head? This is a chance for you to understand what that voice actually sounds like, what that gut feeling actually sounds like. And the more you understand that feeling, you're actually understanding the energy of your higher self. It's okay as a human, and it's a very human thing, to not want to follow sometimes that gut instinct or the little voice in the head. But the more you're catching yourself, this shows growth and it shows improvement. So that maybe when you're ready, as perhaps you've already kind of been doing, you're starting to follow that voice, follow that gut feeling more and more, even though logically you don't have any evidence to back up why you should do things that way, or why you shouldn't go with that person, or why you should do this situation instead of that situation. And the more you do that, the stronger that intuition gets, the stronger that voice gets. And so know that you are on the right path, because you're making those connections faster now. And that is something that your higher self is elated about. You're going into another era for yourself. And this is great. A new chapter, if you will. So continue doing what you're doing. Continue to understand and feel the energy of that higher self every time it tries to speak to you, because that is something personal to you. Everybody's higher self speaks to them in a different way. Get to know how yours is speaking to you, as you have already been doing. Continue doing so. And continue allow yourself to listen and follow through with that guidance when there is no logical facts to back it up. All right, yay! That is cool beans, Kayla. Nice. Okay. All right, so all right then. I do have a little story share, and then we'll go into a healing. I have my drum here. We'll close up the circle, but here we go. I had to like kind of run it through my higher self to see if this was something to share at this time or not to share. You're very welcome, Kayla, and I thank you so much for your membership and your support. Thank you. Okay, a little bit more chinchweed. I'm addicted to my chinchweed. Okay, here we go. Okay, so and like I said, like during this whole chat, I was like kind of talking to my higher self, like, is this the information I share at this time, or do I keep this to myself? Okay, so it is information that I'm going to share at this time. When I was just like laying in bed this morning, I was like kind of in the middle of sleeping and not sleeping. I was like kind of starting to wake up, and excuse me, one of the ascended masters had come in. Actually, it was Jesus, and he was talking about the Ghostbuster movie that I had watched last night. I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's what I shared with you guys at the very beginning. And I mean, as a movie, it was a fun movie, but I wouldn't say it was like epically good. Like it was fun. It was more just like a tribute, like I said, for people who are fans of Ghostbusters. But the Jesus energy, the Ascended Master energy, was saying there's a reason you chose to watch that movie. And you need to look at it as one big metaphor. It was one big metaphor. And if you're gonna see the movie, I'm gonna give away some spoilers. So like spoiler alert. That's kind of where this message is. So you might want to plug your ears if you don't want any spoiler alerts. Okay. So Egon Spangler. Those of you that are 80s babies and you remember the names of the Ghostbusters, there's Egon Spangler. And Egon actually stands for ego, because he operates in the logic. He operates in the 3D world. Even though technically they're supposed to be understanding 4D and all of that, he is a very 3D based human being. And from that 3D mentality, trying to understand something that is very difficult for the 3D mind to understand. And the demon that is in the movie, Gozer, you guys remember Gozer from the very first Ghostbusters? They keep showing Ghostbusters 1 on purpose because they think they defeat the demon, but the demon is the ego. And it's actually not as big and scary as we chalk it up to be. It's only as powerful as we allow it to be. And so in the very first Ghostbusters, let's say the Ghostbusters are you, and they tried to defeat with their proton packs. They're trying to defeat the ego. They're trying to defeat Gozer. And they think they do because it seemed like it went away. It seemed like it went quiet. So therefore the ego must have been destroyed, right? Well, the ego comes back because that's what it does when it's not eliminated. It's a program. And so we can have all of these tactics in place to keep that ego quiet, but it won't stay quiet for long, especially when there's unhealed trauma. And there is a character that does represent the unhealed trauma. And then we have Egon Spangler representing the logic. The logic is trying to figure out logically, in a 3D sense, how do I keep this ego quiet? But the unhealed trauma says you can't keep it quiet. It's going to come back because that trauma isn't being dealt with. But the one thing that can deal with it is the purity of the child that's in the movie. You have this very young child. Before there's any sort of programming built into us, at one point in our lives when we were incarnated on this earth, we were of pure essence. We were totally human, but we were also totally spirit at the same time. We were a perfect equal balance, a blank slate, until conditionings were placed in, programming was placed in, and then that shaped and molded us. So the child represents the purest form of us, and that child stands up to the ego, meaning you don't need to be big and strong, you don't need to be old, you don't need to be, anything other than your purest form of yourself. So if we can tap into our purest essence, which means connecting to the energy of yourself before there was any programming during this incarnation, we utilize that to actually eliminate the ego. And so the Ascended Master was saying, if we could look at the movie that way, that would be kind of a metaphor for us dealing with our shadows. And so in the movie, there's the spirit of Egon Spangler. And it says that once that shadow, that ego, is eliminated, you are your truest, purest essence of yourself. And everyone around you feels that energy, they feel that vibration, because your vibration has totally shifted and changed. You're no longer really operating in their world anymore. And so that forces them to shift and change. Tons of healing takes place all of a sudden because that ego that's preventing that healing from taking place was still in operation, but now it's gone. So that healing just, boom, it's kind of all at once. And so the Ascended Master is saying, there's a reason, like you said, that you saw that movie. But you need to understand that when the ego is gone, when the program is gone, and you realize that this entire 3D world, knowing that there are other dimensions beyond it, this entire 3D world was constructed, yes, using Earth, and yes, we are part Earth people, we are Terran, but we're also spirit as well. And so what happened was that you have this Earth full of these Earth energies, but they're all inhabited by these spirits. And taking that spirit essence to create a matrix world, a matrix illusion. So everything here is constructed from us and from our essence. This wall, the floor that I'm sitting on, the gravity around me, the weight of my physical body, my hair color, everything is from our essence. And the programming that is the ego has been programmed into us to look at this 3D world as if it is the truth and it is something that is separate from us. And so this is why so many spiritual teachers and so many people on the path of trying to understand have said that we are all one, we are all connected, because everything from the inanimate to the animate in this world is a piece of our essence. Everything here was made from us. If you were making a Play-Doh city, everything has been made from the same Play-Doh, and that is us. So when we look at pieces of religions, let's say from the Christian religion, and maybe not all of it being true, but Jesus was saying that, they talk about Moses parting the Red Sea, or they talk about Jesus walking on water, or being able to miraculously heal people. Jesus says it's not a miracle and it's not impossible when you understand that the sea is your essence and that this world was constructed with your essence. You have total control over your own essence, right? And so parting a sea is easy to do because it's not impossible, because it's a piece of your essence. Walking on water, it becomes not impossible because you realize that gravity, air, all of this stuff is my own essence. And so he says, of course you can't do these things yet because you still believe that the ego is the truth, that the ego is the reality. And it's very clever. It's made to be that way. It's made to be so that you don't question the world around you, so that you reject anything that says you don't have control over this world around you. And so he said his only purpose at that time was to actually be a martyr. He says, I had to be a martyr. I wanted to show the people around me that this is possible. Not to say I'm God, not to say I'm divine, but to say I'm God, you're God, you're God, you're God. We're all God. We're all, he says, what you would call source energy. And he says, that's the seed that I wanted to plant into the collective consciousness. And so whatever pain or whatever hurt they tried to do to him, he says they couldn't do to me because I realized that all of that was just an aspect of me. You can't feel pain if you realize that the pain is created within you. He says, so he goes, and they knew that I would have to be physically be eliminated, but my teachings and the energy cannot be eliminated from the collective consciousness. So that's what was left behind. He says, the Bible and all of that was created by man. He says, that's why it's so important to get in touch with your inner self, your highest self, because in that highest self is all the knowledge of the collective consciousness. Every ascended master who's come before you and that will come after you and that is here in the present, you can access all of that information. And so he says, if it's your goal in life to, want to walk on water, or you want to miraculously heal the sick, or you want to miraculously heal yourself, he says you have to eliminate that ego and realize that every piece of this place that we call Earth is actually a piece of you. And when you realize that it's you, you control you, and that's where the quote unquote miracles happen. So that's the message that came through, all because I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife last night. So I hope I'm not like pumping up this movie to be like a super awesome movie. I said it's a fun movie, but I think that if you look at it from a metaphorical standpoint, then it can be a great movie. But also, yeah. So that's what I heard this morning, and then I got out of bed. So it's like, okay, just mind blown, and then I'm getting out of bed now. So I thought I would just share that with you guys. Let me see. Let's go back here. Susie said, interesting. I just heard about essence and spirit. So cool. The spark of divine. What an amazing message. Thank you for sharing this. It is confirmation. Liesl said, beautiful. Yeah, you guys are very welcome. I mean, I'm just passing it along. It's just like, sometimes it's like you get downloads and you're not sure if this is something, like I'm not sure if this is something I should share right now, or if it's something that's just for me to integrate right now, but it kind of feels like that I was meant to share it, so hence I'm sharing it. But yeah, it definitely made me like look at things differently, and I think it's very clever, the matrix program, our egos, which is a part of the matrix programming, being put in place to make us think that all of this stuff is separate. This deck of cards is not me. This, bottle of water is not me. When in reality, it was all made from me, my essence. My essence makes up this glass bottle and makes this real. My essence is this water inside. And so like, that's crazy. And if that's true, then I could, if I could let the ego go, I could turn this into anything because it's a piece of me, and the same goes for you. And I didn't say pizza, but this boy is stuck on pizza. That's like one of his his Achilles heel. And I will say pizza is delicious. So we're not taking orders. So yeah, I thought I would pass that on to you guys. It felt like I should. So hope that resonates. Okay, on that note, let's do a little bit of healing. But I want to do this a little bit differently. Um, Susie's like, yes, if you want rain, be rain. Yes, yes. So it's like when, if you want to, actually, it's like, wow. I mean, all the things that you can think about. And what he was saying too, I forgot, I have to add this in too. Because I was like thinking, so basically, like, this is, I'm my own genie in a bottle. Like, I just make my wishes come true. And he's like, yeah, he says, if you can destroy the ego to the point where you realize that everything here is you, you can create whatever it is that you want. But only the ego would look at it as an opportunity to have all the money in the world and the riches and that. So he says you have to know when your higher self is talking and when the ego is talking. That's why it's important to eliminate it, because otherwise, he says, myself, anybody would go straight to, oh well, then I want $1,000,000. He says, well, that's a very 3D matrix way of looking at things. And once that part of you is eliminated, then it's like, okay, now what do you truly want to create? This is now your playground because it's made up of you. So what do you want to do with it? He says, and so when you realize that the world is your oyster because you are the oyster, then, you know, wanting $1,000,000 is probably the last thing that you want, because you realize that it doesn't mean anything. Like, we only think that like the power is in the money and the money gets you the thing, when really you are the thing and you can just make it happen. So there's that. So I had to pass that. Okay, so with the healing portion of this that I want to do, and like I said, I have to integrate all this stuff because I just heard this morning. So I'm gonna wrap my head around that for a while. But I want to do a little bit of drumming, and I actually don't want to do too much of a guided meditation. I just want to get you guys into a nice calm space, and then I want you to take all of the information that you heard today and decide how you guys want to integrate it. What do you guys want for your week, and what do you want moving forward? We are coming up to our basically a pagan new year, our witch's new year. So what do you want? Do you want to eliminate the ego? Do you want, to connect to your ancestors, which in essence is you? What do you want? This is where you get to pick and choose. And Butterfly Love Child, who has her birthday coming up on Tuesday, what a wonderful time to be able to reflect on all of this and decide, what do you want for this new birth year? What do you want? What do you want to create? If everything is you, how can you manipulate it and create the world that you want? Okay, so I just want to get you into a calm space. I'm just going to do the drum just for a bit of meditation to get you guys into that energy. And then you decide where you want to take this particular meditation. Okay, so I'm gonna be hands off when it comes to guided meditation today. Okay, so you guys find yourselves a nice, comfortable place. It could be on the floor, it could be in a chair, it could be laying down on the bed. But go ahead and find your seat now. And I want you to try and, Butterfly said, I certainly have my ambitions. I want you guys to try and keep your spine as straight as you can. You don't have to be rigid. I don't want you to be tense. I just want it to be relaxed but straight as you can. So if you're laying down, try to lay as straight as possible. If you're sitting, try not to hunch forward. Try not to let your shoulders fall forward, but throw your shoulders back and try to just sit up straight, but without being tense. Okay, so we can let that energy flow through us and so that we can ground ourselves. And I want you to bring your awareness into your body and notice the rise and fall of your chest. Try to bring your awareness all throughout your body, from the top of your head down to the tip of your toes and get to know that energy and its feeling. Feel the spirit running through your veins, the spirit that is in every cell of your skin, the spirit that is in every organ, in every essence of your human self. Get to know it because it's you, but the human is also you. And try to feel these two halves of yourself. Don't forget to breathe. Gentle inhales, gentle exhales. You decide on your breathing at this time. I'm going to go ahead and work on the drum, and you work on your intentions. What do you want as you sit with the energy of yourself? right, you guys. Go ahead and bring your awareness back into the body. When you feel called to, returning to the breath, go ahead and open your eyes. Stretch it out if you have to. Go ahead and stretch out your fingers if you have to. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let's see, let's go back here. Susie says, I think you gave a huge, beautiful year coming for Butterfly Love Child. We all have grown in many ways, I think. Hashtag Burning Sage, I will be sunning up no matter when, 5 years from now or 1 year from now, however it shakes out. Thank you so much for everyone. And thank you so much. Thank you guys for showing up and hanging out with me this Sunday and pulling cards with us and joining in the discussion and all these messages. Thank you, Michelle. And yeah, everybody who came in and yeah, so if you guys have not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you think that any of your friends are going to benefit from today's live chat, go ahead and pass it on to them. And those of you that are watching the replay, I hope you enjoyed the replay, and everybody who's here live, I hope you enjoyed the live. Kayla, thank you, and thank you. 4 months, your milestone today. And Butterfly Love Child, I hope that you have a fabulous birthday on Tuesday. I wish you all the best. I hope that you have a fabulous new year coming for you. Ishani, I hope that you have a wonderful Diwali, many beautiful, wonderful lights to you. And Lisa, yeah, I hope you have a wonderful week. You guys enjoy your rain and your lightning and get all into the vibes. And I thank you guys for showing up. And so thank you to all of my YouTube members. So Susie and Lisa, Kayla, Heather, and Jamie as well. Jamie actually just signed up, so hey! And to all of my patrons as well. So Surian, Brandy, V, Samara, Kirsten, Kayla, Sarah, Jason, Charles, Brian, Grace, and Jamie. Thank you guys all so much. I hope that you have a wonderful Sunday. And Silver Star Priestess, it's just hit a milestone today of 5 months. Hey! You know what? Before I sign off, let's pull a card for Silver Star. So I'll pull a quick card and then I will be signing off for this Sunday. I hope you guys all enjoy your Sunday. And I hope that you have a fabulous week. It seems like it's going to be a big week, but a big week for healing. So I think we're all in on that. And yeah. So, okay. Let me actually, I'll do that last. So I'll pull a card for Silver Star as a thank you for being a wonderful member, hitting this milestone today. So I think Silver Star, I think you're working today, but I hope that you have a fabulous day at work. I hope it's the bomb diggity. All right, Silver Star, you have ancestors. All right, so Heather, it says, a hiss, a quivering so deep only roots of your soil can lift the nakedness hidden within the vows made in silence, an ancient chill walking upon the spine. Ooh. All right, so you have ancestors. Heather says it's snowing. Wow. Okay, so Heather, let's see. All right, Heather, all of those weird knocks and noises and things that sound like they're moving on their own, or like it sounds like somebody's in the other room, but they're not. No need to be afraid. Obviously, you know, it's just relatives, spirits, and they're just making themselves known. But also, since everything is so, I guess we just keep using the word thin, as that's the word I'll use. So thin right now, that they're able to kind of manipulate things in 3D at the moment. So, Heather, if those that are in 4D and above can manipulate the 3D world at this time, know that you have the ability to tap into that 4 and 5D world, their world, that much more easily from your 3D world. So if there's anything that you want to create, anything that you want to do that involves the use of the world beyond the 3D world, know that you can easily tap into it. And you may want to go back and replay a little bit some of the message that came down from an ascended master earlier this morning. That might be able to help you out in those endeavors, but it seems very pertinent that you would need to hear that, especially at this time. So, hey. All right. All right. So, again, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your day and afternoon for some of you guys, evening for others. And before we sign off, let's blow out this candle and make a wish, especially those of you with birthdays. Heather said, "This was what was happening during my meditation. I'm grateful for them, but doing inner feminine power work, I definitely will re-listen." You are very welcome. All right, you guys, make a wish. You ready? And butterfly love child, maybe make a birthday wish. Ready, set, 1, 2, 3. And so it is. All right, you guys, have a wonderful week. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye, guys.